Yeah, I got some great advice too, from a guy who doesn't know shit about comedy. And he told me, I was like, I'm going to diet. He goes, bro, you got like 10 minutes of fat jokes. Don't do that. Your fat jokes are hilarious. Yeah, look, fat comics, man. It's you got a whole extra lane to write jokes in. I'm not skinny by any stretch, but yeah, I was like, oh, I gotta stay fat just for the material. That's how comics think, right?
Yes.
Like I'm like, I could go on a diet, or I could keep this 10 minutes and write 10 more.
Well, yeah, and that was a bit I was working on too, is that it, was about being fat, and then it's like, God, if I did lose like 60 pounds, I would need to get rid of all of my self-deprecating shit. And just
here's what happened. So I was 225 at one point. I walk around about 200 now. And I got down to 160 at one point. I was like, all right, I want to see my dick again. I'm in it. I'm going to do this. I want my wife to want me. I'm in it. And I literally went from 225 to 160. And when you're 160, you can't get on stage and tell fat jokes. You just, I'm 5'10", so 5'10", 160. I don't look fat.
The fat jokes are punching down at that point.
Yeah, but what I learned is you can say anything on stage if you let the crowd know you have you're excused, right? If you give the crowd. So what I would say is, man, you guys, I used to walk around at 200. I've lost, whatever it was, 65 pounds. And then that's so, you get that cheap applause break and, oh, thank you. Yeah, I used to be fat. And then I would do 10 minutes of fat jokes. And that's really the difference between the material, is just, instead of just being fat and just telling fat jokes, because they go, oh yeah, this checks out. He's fat jokes. Okay. Instead of that, now you just go, I used to be fat. And then you do all your fat jokes. So you never need to get rid of them. You just got to let them know, I wrote these at a time when I hated myself and I ate my feelings.
Yeah, and I'll put another mark on the tape for myself. I can't be the first person to make the joke. You can just identify. You can be trans fat.
See, there's all kinds of fat. Yeah, trans fat. Yeah, exactly.
I identify as fat when it's beneficial to me.
I still write fat jokes. I'm not that fat, but I feel fat. So fat can be a state of mind too, I think. Everybody's fat is different, right?
Yeah. Once you're fat, you should just get the stamp of approval that you've been fat. You know what it's like. Exactly. You get a
if you've ever looked at yourself in the mirror naked and went, Jesus, like, then you're good. You get the check mark. You can make fat jokes on stage. You're okay. Yeah. There's some people that don't. They look and they go, yeah, I haven't thought that for shit since I was 18. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, in fairness, I've looked in the mirror some mornings and said, Jesus. And it hasn't been because I was fat. It was like, what did I do last night? Oh,
wow. Now that's a whole other category.
Yeah. No, I look in the mirror in shame quite often.
Oh, yeah. That's like a pastime in this house. Of course.
I'm not checking my hair. I'm not doing anything.
Shaming yourself. Yeah.
I'm just shaming myself. And
you are definitely a comic if you hate yourself. It's kind of the requirements. It's on the card. When you get your comedy card, it says certain things you have to loathe and hate yourself. You have to hate your family. Yeah, there's certain things you have to check off.
Yeah, the only other thing I do in the mirror is lift my arms up over my head to see if my shirt's long enough to cover my belly.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
that's another thing that didn't have to used to worry about that, but now it's like you reach from the top shelf and you
don't want that gut hanging out. Another thing I learned is I had to. This is kind of this is a pro tip really for life. But when I realized, I didn't really know I was fat. Nobody was like, "Hey, you're gross. Like, what are you doing?" I just remember one day I took off my boxers and I was like, why does the band still imprinted into my waist? Like, holy shit, these underwear are so tight, even on the legs. Like, and then they were boxers. I was like, God damn, these boxers are tight like biker shorts. That's a dead giveaway. I was like, okay, I'm probably, if you have the band and you're fat, yeah, it's time.
Yeah,
that was my moment.
Mine is when you just wear slightly looser clothes and people say, "Did you lose some weight?" It's like,
oh, it's a 3XL. Yeah, it's a 3XL. It's just baggy. Just it's the cut.
I just got bigger clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the greatest feeling.
Indeed.
Yeah.